In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes made when buying an air purifier. Hi, my name's Peter Mann with Oransi. I've been in the air purifier industry for 20 years and just want to share my experience in terms of what we see with the biggest mistakes people make when they're looking to buy an air purifier and ultimately what they end up choosing. The first point I wanted to bring up is not choosing the right size. There's this misconception sometimes that when you buy an air purifier, it'll clean your entire home, and that's really not the case. Think of an air purifier or a room air purifier more like a window air conditioner. A window air conditioner cools, for the most part, the room where the air conditioner is. It doesn't provide air conditioning for your entire home. It's more of spot cooling or space cooling, whereas an air purifier works very similarly, where it is designed to clean the air in the room where it's located. So you really want to size the air purifier right for your space, and not buy one machine and thinking it's going to do 2,000 or 3,000 square feet, because it's beyond the scope of what most air purifiers can do. And so what you want to look for is the CADR rating. That will give you an indication of the volume of clean air that the air purifier can move, and then what size space the air purifier can effectively clean. Now, we are very transparent with all of our air purifier ratings and associated room size coverages, and you want to make sure whether whatever air purifier you purchase, that it's sized right for your space. And so the simple rule of thumb is the rule of 2/3. And so if you take your room size and square footage times it by 2/3, that gives you the minimum CADR that you need for your space. Number 2, high price and performance may not be correlated. I've been in this, as I said, this industry for a couple decades. This is our Airmend air purifier, which is a very compact machine. We're starting at prices under $200. There are machines that cost $800, $1,000 or more that have a lower CADR than a machine like this. And so correlating, price and performance with an air purifier is not, going to necessarily hold. Paying more for a different machine doesn't mean you're getting better performance. It goes back to the first point is look at the CADR, see what kind of air cleaning performance you can get, and that really is associated with the quality of what that machine is and what it can do for you. At the other end of the spectrum, there's some very low priced units that have some pretty high claims, and from what I've seen in general, many of those have just very low performance. And again, goes back to the CADR argument. You really need to understand the performance, the certified lab performance of the machine, to make sure that it's doing what you need it to do. Number 3, in the biggest mistakes, and this is, I don't know if this is necessarily so much a mistake as it's a marketing tactic that's used, and that's the idea that multiple levels of filtration are superior, and that's really not the case. Air purifying is really just a function of moving as much air as you can, as quietly as you can, through a set of high quality filters. And so whether that's one filter, this is our mod filter, it's an integrated filter, it's all in one. It has a mesh pre-filter, HEPA filter level, and then a carbon layer on the inside, versus if you had 7 filters that were just very small filters that maybe did some different things. It doesn't really matter how many levels of filtration you have. It's just the quantity of the filter media, the quality of the filter media, and the amount of air that you can move through that filtration system. That's really all that matters. Okay, number 4, not having enough carbon for odors and VOCs. I've done some videos on this in the past, and most air purifiers have either a thin carbon sheet like this, which doesn't do a lot for odor absorption, or it has granular activated carbon like this. But again, it's thin, and the honeycomb is only partially filled, so it's not going to absorb very much. Most of the odors and VOCs will just blow on through. And so what you need is a densely packed carbon filter like this is a little over 2 inches deep. I would say you need at least an inch deep. 2 inches is better if you can move the air through the filter in terms of absorbing the odors and VOCs. And we're not the only product out there with a dense filter like that. There are some other folks, and so what I would say is just make sure if odors and VOCs are at the top of your list, make sure you get the proper carbon filter to be able to absorb that. Otherwise, they're just going to be blowing right through the air purifier. We had a customer maybe 6 months ago that posted a review. She called it Spaghetti Gate, and she had our mod filter, which is this filter, which the primary filter media in this filter is a HEPA, which is for capturing particles, and she was using it for odor removal. And so this does have carbon, it just doesn't have a lot. It's only for very light odors, and she was using it to remove cooking odors, which is a bit of a stretch. And so she closed up her home and was cooking a lot of food. She labeled the review Spaghetti Gate because when she came back with the house closed up, not much of the odor was removed, and she wasn't thrilled with the results. And the issue was she didn't have enough carbon in the filter for what this was designed to do. And so you have to choose the right filter media for the job. And so for odors and VOCs, you need more carbon is better than less. And then 5 is something I've talked about in the past. This is putting too much emphasis on smart features. Smart features, I get the appeal, but when it comes to air purifiers, it's more of a set it and forget it appliance. The smart features really do nothing to clean the air. What you want to do with an air purifier is just find the speed where the noise is acceptable, the highest fan speed where you can run it, and just leave it. Have the air cleaning taking place where you're measuring the air quality. It's not really giving you a room air quality. It's giving you a sort of an air quality reading with I would say a fairly cheap part at the device. And so the quality of the information isn't really where it needs to be. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thank you.